the color of silence. The scent of cedar and warm beeswax filled the mountain cabin, a comforting counterpoint to the crisp winter air that sometimes found its way through the chinks in the stone. Sunlight, pure and unapologetic, streamed through the towering windows of Luna's studio, illuminating dust motes dancing like tiny, golden galaxies. Canvases, some still pristine, others alive with nascent color, leaned against the walls, a silent testament to a dream now tangible. This was her sanctuary, a space where her soul could finally unfurl, brushstroke by brushstroke. And Leo, her moon, her constant watchful presence, was here with her, living the quiet, profound reality of it all. The journey to this place had been long, etched with the ache of distance, the clandestine meetings under a veiled sky, the letters meant for goodbyes that had, against all reason, become accidental declarations of love. That, feeling, a sudden involuntary burst of pure happiness that once had to be contained to stolen glances, now bloomed freely between them. A shared warmth that permeated their days. It was a joy so potent it still held a tender, almost painful depth, a constant reminder of how fiercely they had fought for this peace, for this right to simply be. Today, the studio was hushed, its creative energy momentarily held in suspension. They were heading deeper into the forest, following a narrow, winding path dusted with the last remnants of winter snow. The hum of Leo's car engine was a low, steady thrum, a comforting sound against the vast stillness of the landscape. The air bit at their cheeks, sharp and clean, carrying the invigorating scent of pine and frozen earth. The sun, already beginning its slow, graceful descent, painted the sky in a fleeting masterpiece of bruised purples and fading oranges, leaving the world to the deep, enveloping embrace of twilight. These were their hours, bathed in the soft, diffused light of the encroaching night, a time when the world softened, revealing its truest, most intimate colors. "Almost there, my butterfly," Leo murmured, his hand finding hers, their fingers intertwining. The familiar warmth that spread through him was a language all its own, a silent conversation passing between their skin. Her green eyes, framed by the soft wool of her scarf, sparkled with an anticipation that mirrored his own. Even now, after all they'd been through, that look, that shy but undeniably flirty smile playing on her lips, the intensity in her gaze still pulled him in. A silent, captivating song that had first made him think of her as his siren. They broke through the last line of pines, stepping into a secluded clearing. Ancient, gnarled trees, their branches heavy with fresh powder, formed a natural amphitheater overlooking a vast, snow-covered valley. Here, the silence was immense, a tangible presence that wrapped around them, a blanket woven from the stillness of the winter air. It wasn't an empty silence, but a profound, resonant one, the color of silence. A deep, hushed indigo woven with the faint rustle of distant, unseen wildlife, the gentle whisper of the wind through the needles, and the almost imperceptible beat of their own hearts finally beating in unison. Luna moved with a dancer's grace, her cheeks flushed with the cold and excitement. She pulled her portable easel from its canvas bag, unfolding its slender legs with practiced ease. Her canvas, pristine white, seemed to hum with potential, waiting for her touch. Leo watched her, a quiet reverence settling over him. His camera hung from his neck, its familiar weight a comfort, but for now, it remained still. He simply watched her, his artist in her element, seeing the world through her eyes, knowing that the beauty she would soon capture on canvas would be her unique interpretation, an echo in her paintbrush. She would paint the world her way. "The light is just ethereal," Luna breathed, adjusting the easel, her gaze sweeping across the panoramic view. The last vestiges of sunlight clung to the highest peaks, painting them in fleeting shades of rose and gold before surrendering to the encroaching twilight. Leo settled onto a snow-dusted log nearby, his gaze fixed on her. The words that once burned on his tongue, the "I love yous" and "I need yous" and "You mean the world to me," were now spoken in the lingering touch of his thumb against her knuckles, in the way his gaze held hers, in the shared breath that hitched in their throats when their eyes met. The "I want you here with me forever" was in the way their bodies instinctively gravitated, seeking the warmth and comfort of each other, a silent promise whispered by their souls. He reached into his pocket. His fingers brushing against the small, familiar piece of string, he still carried a tangible reminder of the moon she once wanted to grab and the balloon he promised to make. He smiled, a private, contented smile. Luna began to mix her paints, her concentration absolute. The soft scraping of her palette knife against the colors, the whisper of her brush against the canvas became part of the profound silence. Leo watched her hand move, fluid and confident, translating the raw beauty before them into her own unique language of pigment and light. Every now and then she'd glance at him, her green eyes holding that certain intensity, that shy but undeniably flirty smile playing on her lips. And he'd feel that familiar surge, a raw, aching desire to simply be with her, to merge into one, to kiss away every memory of the years they couldn't be this free. It was a profound yearning, a silent explosion of emotion that left him breathless. He moved closer, settling behind her, his arms gently wrapping around her waist. Her back was warm against his chest, a perfect fit, the curve of her spine nestling against him. He rested his chin on her shoulder, his lips brushing her hair, inhaling the scent of paint, fresh winter air, and her own intoxicating fragrance. The intimacy of it was a quiet fire, a silent conversation between their bodies. His fingers, almost unconsciously, found the soft skin of her wrist, tracing gentle circles. He felt the subtle tremor that ran through her, a shared current that vibrated between them, a silent language of profound longing and belonging. Her hand, still holding the brush, paused for a moment to cover his, a tender acceptance, a silent invitation. "What colors are you finding in the shadows today, my love?" Leo murmured, his voice low, close to her ear. Luna hummed, a soft, contented sound. "More than just blue. There's a hint of violet, almost a deep plum where the snow drifts, and a touch of silver reflecting the sky." She paused, her brush hovering. "It's like the world is holding its breath, waiting for the stars to emerge." "It's breathtaking," he replied, his gaze sweeping from her face to the canvas, then to the vast valley. "You capture it so perfectly. You always do." They worked in companionable silence for a long time, broken only by the soft sounds of her painting and the occasional click of his camera as he captured the scene, her focused profile, the brush poised, the vastness of the landscape, the way the light shifted. He wasn't just taking pictures of the scenery. He was capturing the very essence of her dream, of their shared reality. He knew, though, that the deepest beauty of this moment, the aching love that filled his soul, was something not even a paintbrush could freeze in time. A camera could never capture, but the soul could feel it. As the last sliver of sun vanished and the first bright stars pricked the darkening sky, Leo gently turned her to face him. The moon, a luminous disk, was already ascending above the distant peaks, casting a silvery glow over the snow. "Luna," he began, his voice soft, "I found something for you earlier." He reached into his coat pocket, pulling out a small, carefully preserved pink flower he'd found, a hardy bloom that had defied the early winter chill. "You know, you would look so beautiful with pink flowers in your hair, like a beautiful flower crown resting on your head." Her eyes widened, a soft gasp escaping her lips. He gently tucked the flower behind her ear, its delicate pink a stark, beautiful contrast against her dark hair, complementing her white skin, her beautiful green eyes, and natural pink of her lips. She reached up, her fingers touching the flower, then tracing the line of his jaw. "Oh, my moon," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "It's perfect. I can truly see it now. Wearing a flowing dress, a crown of pink blossoms, and fluttering like the beautiful butterfly I am." A playful glint entered her eyes. "And you, Mr. Moon, you can take pictures of me. Capture these very sparkles, the love in my eyes for you." That familiar surge, that, feeling, enveloped them both, a shared current of pure bliss, a sudden, overwhelming desire to simply be in this moment forever. He leaned in, and their lips met. A tender, lingering kiss that spoke volumes of the unsaid things, of the long, winding journey they had taken to reach this quiet, perfect happiness. It was a kiss that promised forever, a silent vow exchanged under the vast, open sky. They sat back down, his arm still around her, watching the day fully turn to night. The moon climbed higher, bathing the valley in an ethereal glow. Now, he said, his voice a soft invitation, you can paint the moon behind the trees. Capture its cascading moonlight from the heavens, lighting your soul. Luna smiled, a radiant, joyful smile that lit up the darkness. She picked up her brush, her eyes fixed on the rising moon, its light reflecting in her own. He raised his camera, capturing the moment her, bathed in moonlight, painting the very source of his name, the symbol of his constant, watchful love. They stayed there, by the fireside of their shared warmth, long after the moon was high, until the first hint of dawn, when the sun needs to rise. She painted, he watched, and sometimes he'd lean over and whisper, I'll paint you with my love the way you like it, the way it's meant to be. This was it. Not just a dream achieved, but a life lived, moment by precious moment. The color of silence, painted by her, captured by him, and felt deeply in the souls of two people who had found their missing pieces in each other, finally free to slow dance in the dark, under the watchful, loving gaze of their very own moon.